Hello guys. So today is a little bit different. I wanted to craft and chat, but it's more like a craft and rant. I'm not gonna do my usual intro and all that because what I kind of want to talk to you about today is a little bit more serious in nature. Still want to craft with you and talk it out because that's usually how I work out through situations that I'm having. But if you're not in the right state of mind for politics or other people's thought process or whatever, I would recommend for you to jump out of this one and we'll see each other in the next one. And if you are, well, let's go ahead and just craft and rant together. So, I'm just gonna be making some clusters. um, it's midnight, guys. I am having a hard time slowing down my mind, and usually crafting in this type of situation helps out. And so I'm hoping that I am able to help a few too. Um, let's go ahead and get started. So let's take a deep breath first. And exhale. Okay. So today has been a roller coaster of emotions for me. I've been watching the news on and off. I do try to watch different networks and people online. I try to keep informed because I don't like being stuck in an echo chamber. So I actively try to look for different information from different networks. Now, what happens when I do that though? I end up hearing some stuff that just like genuinely um, blows my mind. And it kind of blows my mind to hear some of the like extremist rhetoric on the especially on the right because so California is had a bunch of raids, right? If you're watching the news, as I assume a lot of people are right now. So there was a protest against ICE because they were doing a bunch of raids, and they were going after hardworking people, pretty much, people that were waiting for work at Home Depot and stuff like that. And people got upset because these are people from their community that are being persecuted and are being targeted. So there was protest. The protest then gave permission, I guess, for, and I mean, I say permission in a very loose sense of the word. He took liberties with that situation and then decided to mobilize the National Guard and I believe a branch of the military. I'm not really sure on that one, so don't quote me on that. But so he did that, and then the National Guard got there. Situation with the protests got exacerbated by the National Guard. They started to shoot stuff at them. Then the protesters, or some of the like agitators, I want to say that's probably more of the accurate word is to some agitators, because they were peacefully protesting. Some agitators in the side of the protest did some things that they shouldn't have done. I do not condone violence. I do not condone any type of looting or anything like that. I do believe in the right to peacefully protest, especially a government as tyrannical as this one. But I do think that we need to be really smart in how we protest, because they are looking for a reason, guys. They are looking for a reason to martial law. And I know that a lot of people are like, oh, the hysteria, it's hysteria, it's the DJT derangement syndrome, which, to be honest, to me, he is the most deranged person I've ever heard speak. I am thankfully I've never seen him in person. I will try to avoid to see him in person. Like, that's my life mission, to never see this person in person. But see, I ranted there. So let me get back to the point. So it's easy to say that something is just someone being hysterical, or someone just like having some type of preconceived notion about something without the full picture. I mean, people have been saying that they want the ICE deportations to be done, if they need to be done, in a manner that is lawful, right? I don't think anybody in their right senses says to not deport the bad people, or to not deport people that have done horrible things. I am of the belief that if you break in the law and you've done horrible things, and you've killed, you've raped, you've done things that you're not supposed to in our country, and you're here illegally, then you should be deported. You should be removed. However, in order for that to be proven, you have to go through court. You can't just be like, that's a bad guy, deport him. And so a lot of people have vocalized that they're not okay with that. They're not okay with people just being picked up and taken away and disappeared. Like, nobody's okay with that, unless you're like in the regime or a red hatter, you know. But people that are humans and have hearts and have free will to think about things and critical think, they're not okay with stuff like that. So people have been speaking out, and now we're at a point where people are like, well, we're gonna protest, because now you're not only doing it to the bad people, but you're going after people that are out here just waiting for work. And so now the National Guard is out there. I am genuinely heartbroken. I am genuinely heartbroken for my country. These last couple of months have been like a crazy hay fever dream. The first time that I broke down was the day that the Ukrainian president Zelensky was at the White House, and the ambush that he received, and the way they acted in the Oval Office. I remember just seeing it and being like, wow, how the mighty have fallen. It literally felt like that. It felt like, I know we have very problematic history, guys. Like, and I think that that's one of the reasons that we are here, because we refuse to. It's one of the many reasons. There is many reasons that we're here, but one of the reasons is that we refuse to see head on our history. And so a lot of the history that we do have is a little problematic, and a little is kind of minimizing. It's problematic. It's, I mean, there was slavery, there was lynchings, there was systemical racism that is still alive today, till today, you know. And so like we refuse to see that because we want to believe the the story that we were fed in high school and middle school, you know, the we're a free country that has freedom of speech, and that we are the greatest country ever, and we built ourselves by the ground or whatever, you know. And mm, America was great until we got liberal. So we want to believe all of those things, right? And somewhere along the way, we forgot that when we don't learn about our history, we are bound to repeat it. And here we are again, you know? All of this has happened, guys, and we could learn a lot from our history. There is a documentary that was done, um, called The Gilded Age by PBS, that my brother recommended to me, and I want to recommend it to you. I will probably link it down below so that you can check it out. But it's basically talking about the Gilded Age and what that meant and what all of that was about, and how there was a situation where, you know, the one percenters back then were kind of like stepping on the necks of the regular folk like we are. Um, so basically, my point is this: we need to learn about our history. We need to not shy away from the bad part of our history, because there is a lot to learn there too. We need to stop trying to avoid and erase history. And I want to say that we need to do that on all sides, guys, because it's important to learn about all the history. Um, it's important to know every single facet of a history, whether it's good and bad. And I mean, whether we like it or not, we're a very multifaceted country that has been able to become great, but then now we forgot that we were great, apparently, and we're like, oh, let's be great again. And by great, I'm not saying we were perfect. We've never been perfect. And I think that that's something that we need to remember and actively continue to work towards that. And we're never going to be able to be perfect, guys, because there's not such a thing. Like if we were perfect, if any human was perfect, first of all, you know, we wouldn't be where we are today, for one. But we're not. So perfectionism shouldn't be the goal. Betterment should be the goal. Continuously growing and being better should be the goal. Um, being great is one of those things that it's like, well, who is deciding what is great? Because it doesn't feel like there's anybody sane at the wheel right now that is saying like, well, you know what, guys, this seems pretty great or whatever, you know. Because honestly, does it seem great? Because it's like, how are we there yet? It literally feels like that every morning when I go and do my morning routine, where I clean my kitchen and turn on the news and have my coffee. I'm like, are we great? Are we there yet? And nope, we're not. It's another day kind of thing. I question the logic behind that statement of making America great again. For many reasons, whether it's the fact that we should continue to strive to become better and not necessarily uh, becoming great again. I think we're we're regressing. It doesn't feel like we're great. It doesn't feel like we're even getting close to greatness. It feels like we're losing rights left and right. We have a person that thinks he's like a tyrant or wants to be a tyrant or a dictator, at least to me. And guys, this is my opinion. Okay. um any opinion that you hear me speak right now is my personal opinion. I am not promoting my way of thinking. I am not trying to like make you a crazy leftist, which is something that they love throwing around. I don't even like to talk about politics. The only reason I'm doing it now is because I feel like we're in a state where we don't have the luxury to just exist anymore. Like if we want our rights, we have to actively practice them, right? I want to keep my freedom of speech. I want to be able to speak truth to power, and I want to not fear my government. I have back when I was 18 or 19, I had a ticket, a speeding ticket. That's like the worst thing I've done. Um I am a law-abiding citizen. I actually believe in backing the blue. I believe in law and order, but there is no law or order in our government right now. I believe that every person should have the right to love whoever they want to love. I believe that everybody that works should be able to afford life. I am American. I was born and raised in the USA, and I love my country, even when my country doesn't love me. It hurts my heart to see my country in such unrest. It hurts my heart to have the wish of betterment for our country and seeing how people in power are trying their best to regress us instead of catapult us up to a higher level of betterment. I mean, you see it with what they're doing in education, you see it with what they're doing in the way they're just like blatantly ignoring the judicial branch and the way they're ignoring the legislative branch and saying that they're lowly. That's what they love saying about judges. A lowly judge, a lowly leftist activist. These are all just triggering words. We have to pay attention to those triggering words. And in any avenue, you have to pay attention because there's sometimes people that will speak in a manner to either like make you sympathetic to their cause or make you agitated against another cause. So being very mindful and actively listening is, I think, a powerful tool that we should probably start using more. Actively listening to people, what they're saying, how they're saying. This whole weaving thing is probably one of those things that we should probably pay attention to. People that talk in circles, I tend to do that, and it's more because my brain works in circles, but there are people that do it in a way where it's like to make you dizzy, to make you be like, what did you just say? So we need to pay attention to all of these things, guys, and we need to ask for our government to be responsible in the way they wield their power, in the way they wield their quote unquote executive power. I know that it's very ranty what I'm saying. I know that, you're probably wondering, like, Sarah, go to sleep, or probably should go to sleep. But I do think that more than anything, I want my country back, guys. I want to not have to worry about government. Although, I mean, we should always be worrying about government because I'm telling you, history repeats itself. But I wish I didn't have to sit here and talk to you about politics. I wish I could just sit here and talk to you about crafts. Don't feel like I have that luxury anymore. I will still be mainly a craft channel, guys, but I am going to use my freedom of speech, and I welcome you to do the same. I welcome you to call your congressmen and congresswomen and senators and let them know how you feel about what's going on in our country. If you are of the belief, like I am, that our sitting president should be impeached, let them know that. Let them know why you believe that. It is scary to write to them. I actually wrote to my congresswoman today, and I know she's a Republican congresswoman, and I know that she is someone that likes to repeat the narratives that they tell them to repeat. So there's a part of me that fears to speak out, but I don't think we should let fear paralyze us. I think that we should feel the fear because it's good to feel it. And then we should use that and use it wisely. We should peacefully protest, guys. If you are out there and you do get arrested for whatever reason, please be sure to stay quiet, remain silent, use that right, and ask for a lawyer. Do not sign anything without a lawyer present. If you are thinking about going out to protest, I would recommend for you to look at the rules and laws that are placed in order for a peaceful protest. You have the right to protest, guys, but it always has to be done in a civil and peaceful manner. So keep that in mind. Like I said, these are just my opinions. This is just someone practicing their freedom of speech. I do not condone any type of violence. I am not a lawyer. I'm just someone speaking out. I think we're gonna leave it there. I'm not gonna do my usual goodbye. I just want to say to please stay safe, guys, because you are all important. Before you go to bed, say a little prayer for our country because we are in need of some light, and pray for healing in our country and pray for love in our country because we really do need it. With that being said, guys, I hope you guys stay safe. We'll see each other in the next one.